So I was going to ask you, where do one go when you're one of the most popular film directors in the world and has done some of the biggest selling movies, of all times? Where do you go? But it's a global spy franchise, apparently.
Yeah, so I mean, look, that's for my brother and I, the process coming out of Avengers Endgame, these are big questions. Where do we go? And, we just basically settled into what excites us most as filmmakers? What excites us most as storytellers? What are we being led to? And Jen Salke, who runs Amazon Prime, we've worked with her for many, many years now on a variety of things. She called us one day and she said, look, Amazon is really uniquely positioned to tell a story on a global level that involves creative talent from all over the world. Because we have so many good relationships in so many different markets with a lot of the creative community. She's like, is there a story you guys can come up with that would include a network of creative teams working around the globe collectively on the same story? And we thought that was a brilliant idea because, my brother and I, we love telling stories that travel globally. That's, being able to connect audiences worldwide through a story is an incredible value to us. And we think it's something we've been very grateful that we've been able to participate in. But the innovation on this show is, well, not only how do we tell a story that travels globally, but how do we actually create a story globally? And that's what excited us about this.
I just talked extensively with your brother about all the plans for this new global spy franchise you're starting. So it's both of you. What is the appeal of spy movies, spy stories?
Wish fulfillment.
Yeah,
right?
I think not ever, being able to do that in your reality, the betrayal, the secrets. It's also delicious. Our lives are not like that. I think that is exciting for people, the fantasy of it.
Yeah, they're modern mythological characters. Mm-hmm. They have a skill set that very few people possess and, traffic in really, escaping from impossible situations. So I think that's the allure of it. The stakes are life and death. It's sexy. It's fun. And like you said, there's betrayal. There are lies that you have to uncover, surprises. So it's just a full genre. It's a very rich genre.
There's still a lot of audiences that don't really realize what you are going to do with the Citadel franchise.
Yeah, so for instance, right now, the way we're structured is there is a creative team in the United States that is working on the version of the show that premieres at the end of April, called Citadel. There's a creative team, all the shows are called Citadel, they have different variations on it. There's a creative team in India that's working on another version of the show, of the series, that's being created in India. There's another creative team in Italy that's working on another version of the show being created there. Now, all of these shows exist within the same storytelling universe. They're all about Citadel, and they all explore various aspects of what Citadel is today, in the future, and in the past.
And can we see crossovers and characters? Are we going to see that?
You'll see that. I don't want to give anything away too specifically, but yes, they're all connected in the same storytelling universe, and certainly there are characters that can cross over between them.
And what is it, because you also just did Grey Man on Netflix. What is it about the spy films, the spy stories that appeal to you two guys?
Well, Joe and I have always loved telling stories through action. There's something about the poetry of movement and sound that you can create in action that has always resonated with us strongly. The other thing that we've noticed through the years is, again, we love the fact that the global filmmaking community and the global audiences are sort of starting to connect more and more and more through the decades. And action has always been a very effective language to use in storytelling that translates between different cultures. Because it's kinetic, it's visual, sometimes comedy can be a little more difficult to translate between cultures because it's so nuanced that it has to do with a lot of things that is very culturally specific. So sometimes it doesn't translate as easily. Action travels really well globally. So if you want to engage global audiences, if you want to try to tell stories that unite people all around the world, the action genre is a very effective language to use. And it's a genre that's full of action.
That's right.
That's what Anthony also said, and you have done quite a lot of action, Priyanka, from Dawn movies to Quantico till this now, and I hear that you actually like doing action scenes and like doing stunts yourself. Is that true? Why do you like it?
Well, I when I started first doing stunts like 20 years ago, we didn't have the crew and stunt doubles and all the stuff that we have now, and I kind of learned to do it all myself, and I developed the skill set. This is 18 years ago or something, to be able to do this extremely technical stuff, which is like punch someone with full speed and stop right before you actually take their nose out and stuff like that. So I enjoy it because I trust my body and because I have experience enough to bring to the table where you'll be able to see my face and it'll still be safe. I never put myself in danger. I love my job. I would never want to be hurt at it. We're making movies. It's not.
You're not the Tom Cruise falling on a plane.
I don't do it for the thrill.
She's being modest. I call her the female Tom Cruise. I do.
I don't do it for the thrill of it.
Yes.
I love to be able to have viewers be like, "Oh my gosh, it's the actual actor," and like, I don't want to hide behind VFX or hair, and I just think as much as you can pull off a scene yourself as an actor, you should be able to do. And what's not safe, of course, leave it up to the experts. But it's my job to be able to do as much of it as on the page as I can.
And coming from Denmark, I'm coming also from Roland Miller.
Oh,
land.
yes.
And I know Roland, actually.
Oh, you do?
And he told me, I don't know if he was supposed to, but he told me that when you did a scene together, you actually broke your eyebrow.
I did.
At some point.
I did.
And she said, she's a tough cookie because he just went on, Is that...
I did.
Yeah.
We were... it's got cut from the movie, but I have the footage on my phone. I'll remind myself of my former glory. But
We did that to you, and then we cut it out.
Cut it from the movie. But that's okay. There are multiple stunts I've done which are cut from the movie. We'll put it in Nadia's memories. In the
Not everything makes it into the final.
And that's fine. But this was a rainy day in England, and I was, fighting off 5 guys and muddy and on the ground. We were losing light, and I'm supposed to be thrown on the ground, and the camera is supposed to land on my close-up. Now, it was just rushed and tired, and 4 more shots left, and I went an inch forward, and the camera came an inch forward and took off my eyebrow. I had a lot of fake blood, and I had the real blood, too.
She kept going with the real blood.
Well, everyone stopped, and they said that we're going to have to come back another day to do the scene, and I didn't want to do that, so I just put some glue on and finished the day.
Wow.
Did you, when you took the glue off, did it rip off your eye?
You didn't take the glue off. It didn't come off for like 2 weeks. There? Yeah.
So you never even stitched it. You just used the glue.
Held it there.
Oh God.
And I'm coming from Denmark, which is Roland Miller land.
Yeah.
Whom you chose for a big part in this film, in this series.
Yes.
Why? What is it that Roland had that he was right for this part?
I mean, look, if you look at the cast top to bottom, just incredible actors, right? It's like when you're playing characters who are dealing in untruths, lies, sort of conning one another, being honest sometimes about who they are and what they need, and being dishonest sometimes about who they are and what they need. You need very sophisticated actors to understand how to sort of translate that and how to play that and how to keep audiences, sort of show audiences enough so they understand what's going on, but not show them too much, so they keep guessing. And really, top to bottom, the cast was chosen for those reasons.
Right. Yeah. And I'm not going to spoil anything. I'm not going to use this for the interview, but even in a double role as twins.
Yeah, it's really challenging.
It's really good fun.
Yeah, it's good fun and extremely difficult on a performance level as an actor. So yeah, it's amazing. I really, hats off to him.
Why? What was it in Roland that you saw that was right for this part?
He's a great actor, for one. Yeah. And everything always starts with great actors. But he's ferocious on screen, and and he's playing twins, so it's a really complicated role because you have to differentiate the 2 personalities, and he's fantastic in the show, very threatening.
He's so sweet too. Like we have so many scenes together, and he's the opposite of what he portrays. He's just like a big gentle giant, super funny, loves having a good time, great guy.
Yeah, that's the mark of a good actor.
Yeah,
he is nothing like
he's nothing like a character.
So here in the lastly, you both have your own production companies, AGBO, and you have the Purple Pebble Pictures.
Yep.
And and they both seem very ambitious on helping and supporting new artists, new talent, and supporting diversity and women or whatever. Why do you think that's important in the industry at this time?
Well, you have to lead by example, and if we don't do it, who will do? So you want to make sure that you use the position, the power that you've been fortunate enough to come into, to turn around and hold the door open for others to come in. And I believe, because I have 4 kids and I'm always concerned about where the world is headed, that one of the last binding elements we have are stories, and that the more culturally diverse and the more interesting perspectives that we can infuse into popular media, the more accepting we become of those ideas and those cultures. So it's sort of a critically important exercise.
I want to go back to my first question because, after you have created your own production company, AGBO, what are your ambitions for AGBO? Because you seem to be also very interested in supporting, new artists and new talent.
Well, that's, part of the ambition of AGBO is to create things like Citadel, things that only a company like ours is capable of, where we could hold together this network of artists throughout the world, collectively telling a story together that is Citadel. But also, and that's a very big filmmaking effort, we also want to protect small filmmaking efforts within AGBO and find stories or artists that really need to be championed and move through the system in a way that maybe we can do in a way that's better or unique from other people. Like Everything Everywhere All at Once is certainly an example of that. Our ability to be able to reach out to the Daniels and try to offer them a filmmaking format that they could potentially reach wider audiences with than they had before. That was something we thought we could bring to the table with them, and we're very happy with how that turned out. So that's an important part of what AGBO is as well.
Was that a wish you had from the beginning to do that in the industry, or is it something that has come along the way because you can see that there's a need for it?
Well, really it goes back to the beginning for us because that's how we came into the industry. We were making small, strange, very, very small, low budget, strange indie films. And one of our greatest directors, Steven Soderbergh, ended up seeing one of those movies that we had made, and he offered to us, hey, I think you guys, the work you do is very interesting. Maybe I can help you make another movie, produce a movie for you, and help you sort of reach more people. And we took him up on that offer, and he helped develop us in that direction, understand commercial filmmaking. So we look at it as a way we have to keep paying that forward with other artists who have good, interesting, unique voices, who have stories to tell, whose craft is very unique. We look at it as our responsibility to try to find ways to help them grow and develop and continue to reach wider and wider audiences.
I think I did it out of necessity, honestly. When I first started my production company in the beginning, it was like my mom, it's a very funny story. I turned 30 and my mom was like, you're not going to have a career as a leading lady anymore because everyone in Bollywood wants to work with 20-year-olds. So you need a job, a revenue source. And I was like, and she's like, production. That's how it started, honestly. It's funny now. And then I realized the value of being able to tell stories, and I started working with new filmmakers. Most of my first few films were with first-time filmmakers. We won multiple awards for our movies, told in different languages. I was just curious to see, I don't come from this business. I've learned everything on the job. And because of that, I don't have a precedent that is set. So I'm just like pushing the boundaries wherever I go. And, being able to, I have a first look deal with Amazon. They're incredible partners. We're developing so many TV shows, movies together with women behind the camera, with, immigrants, people from India, storytelling from Asia. And and being very hyper specific about it. And a streamer like Amazon, which is so excited about culturally specific stories, it's such a joy to be able to do that.